What's going on? This is My Life in the Shop. Your host, Donald Watch. The Walmart retail giant has announced that they will be closing 4 stores in the Chicagoland area. Not 2 months, not 3 months from now, but Sunday, April 16th. Renee, what is going on with this store?
Yes, Walmart announced on Tuesday, April 11th, that they're closing 4 stores in the Chatham area, Kenwood area, Little Village, and the Lakeview area. Now, it's particularly devastating to the Chatham area because they just closed Target on 85th and Cottage a few years ago. So Walmart is claiming a lack of sales pretty much. They said for years they haven't been profitable in these areas.
So, yeah, a lot of people now just found out, hey, you're going to be unemployed Sunday. People that got to feed their families, people that really shop there for medicine now. They are keeping the pharmacy open for an extra 30 days, right?
Yes. And for the employees, they're saying they can transfer to a different location. But then the question becomes, well, how far is this location?
So a lot of people ain't buying the fact that they're saying, oh, we haven't been profitable. But yo, every single time you walk in a Walmart, make absolutely no mistake, you cannot find the parking lot almost. How can that be?
Yeah, specifically, I would say like in the Chatham area, because there's nothing else around there that has affordable prices. I just don't definitely see how that's true.
So, all right, now, so Alderman Howard Brookins is saying he fought to keep that open in 2020. When they're saying the civil unrest in 2020 after the George Floyd stuff that went on, a lot of stores, including Walmart's, got damaged. And they lost a lot of money in those damages. A lot of people looted, stole out of these stores. And so aldermen had to fight to keep these stores open. And so he's saying to here a couple hours ago that we're going to close is a profound disappointment. And that, you know, a lot of people are upset because this is the only store that they have. And they're just saying it's just going to be a huge vacant space. Some of the customers are saying it's just going to be a huge vacant space. However, they also offered academy classes, workshops in the Chatham neighborhood, like you said.
Yes, and then at that Walmart Academy, it offered different things like resume building, job interview skills, SAT skills, college preparation, finances as well. And those classes were free to anybody who wanted to come in for the classes, even outside of being a Walmart employee.
All right, so some of the things I want to talk to you guys about is in our communities. I do violence a lot. I talk about the violence of the communities. And you got to understand where it stems from, all right? Once a business in your community closes down, all right, what it does is bring the property value down. Now, you can't sell your house. Let's say if you want to, let's say your grandmother or your mother wants to sell her house. She's like, I had enough. I want to move. Now, once your property value go down, you may still owe 150 on that house. And now your property value just went down to 100. So now you're stuck in that house. So now you got to rent it. And so now what it does is bring down the property value and then bring down the value of the people coming into that community. So now the people in that community don't have jobs. So now you're like,
go ahead. And no one wants to live somewhere where it's a lack of jobs. And also, if you're looking to buy a house or a building, you want to live somewhere where you do have access to stores like Walmart or Target or a grocery store nearby. You don't want to drive, a super far way to just get groceries.
Right. And so now the youngsters in the community don't have jobs. So now they're like, hey, I need to eat. How am I going to eat? So now they're like, hey, let's go. Let's hustle. Let me hustle some drugs. I'm going to sell this. I'm going to sell that.
Yeah, let's rob. Let's carjack. Do some carjackings.
So now property values go down. Now crime goes up.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So now, Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson, he released a statement saying Walmart's decision to close 4 locations in Chicagoland area will leave a void in the communities they serve, particularly stores in the communities that have a historical lack of options of grocery stores and pharmacies. These stores serve a critical lifeline in the communities to obtain fresh, affordable products. We are committed to identifying the gaps closures, and we're gonna fix it. All right.
Yeah.
One
So
thing I
yeah,
want to talk. Go ahead.
and also take note of the affordable prices for fresh groceries, because sometimes, like Jewel or something, which is, a little further, the prices are kind of high.
Right. So some of these communities are food deserts, but one of the things I want to talk
Right.
about is I was reading some of the comments on Facebook, YouTube, stuff like that. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, it's this, it's that." However, at some point in our communities, we need to take accountability and a hold of our communities. We spend $1.3 trillion a year.
Right.
Problem is, we spend 98% of that outside of our community, leaving
Yes,
the
we
people
definitely need
inside
to
of our
practice.
community with no jobs. We let
Yeah, we
everybody else
definitely.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
We definitely need to practice group economics and try to shop when there is a store in your community near you as much as possible.
Some communities don't let Walmarts in because Walmarts take all the businesses. I've been to several
Right.
communities and they don't have a Walmart. And I'm like, yo, I asked, how come this community don't have a Walmart? And they said, hey, it put all the mom and pop spots, the people that live in the community that want to open up a business, and it puts them out, that bring back jobs to the community, that live in the community, they pay taxes and hire for the community and to circulate that dollar. Go ahead.
Yeah. And they fight to keep them out and they win. You can win to keep them out. You can absolutely do that.
Right. The big corporations that and you also got to think about tax dollars too. What happens is a lot of tax dollars are leaving these communities as well. So now, in your census,
Right.
it brings down, it makes people want to move. So it brings down the population. The census, when you're getting less people in that community, your census go down because people move it. Because there ain't no
Right.
job. So,
Right.
but a lot of companies, what they do is get your zip code from where you're at, because they know a lot of people are willing to drive outside their community to shop. So they're like, hey, you know what? If we close this one, those people are willing to drive an extra mile to come to this one.
Yeah.
So it'll actually, and they were closing so many aisles. I did several videos with 17 aisles and one open.
Yeah. And as far as people going to different places to shop, like let's say if you have a local mall, sometimes people in that community thinks that other malls outside of their community, I've heard people say they have better items or better things to choose from, but actually you're just hurting your community but not supporting your own community.
Right, people, group economics, businesses that live in your community, that hire from your community, that shop in your community, that pay taxes from your community. Now
Right.
your community can afford to keep that school open, to keep that park open, to keep that YMCA or whatever local shelter open, because it brings more tax dollars to that community. When you take your dollar, so now the people in those communities got to say, hey, you know what? I tell you what, I am not willing to go outside to the one a mile, 2 miles, 10 miles away. I'm going to
Right.
stay in my community. Because what Walmart is banking on is, oh, we'll see y'all business. It ain't going to hurt a bit. And they'll be right. They'll be right. Because those people are just going to say, up, see, I just got to drive an extra 3 miles to the other one.
Right. Yeah, it's always more profitable to stay in your area and let that dollar or let that money circulate within your own community.
What does that do? That gives jobs to the people in your community.
Jobs.
That brings the property value up. So now your mom that bought a house at $50,000, now when the property value goes up, that house is worth 150. She can profit a good 100,000 by selling that house. It also keeps good residents in that community. So to keep a good property value is critical. There's something we do not understand is property value, people. Anyway, shout out to everybody sending me stories. This is a big story. It looks like retail stores. It looks like jobs. It looks like a recession in my eyes because now more jobs are even being lost. How many hours are those people going to get at another store when they already got a full staff at those other stores? And those retail jobs are actually being... I read an article where they're doing like machines for...
there's a few Walmarts. I don't know if people have seen them where it's mostly just the automatic checkout. It's only like 1 or 2 lines that you can get into. An actual person rings you out. So, yeah.
Right. So, it's got to be something, where so people don't leave your community, stay in that community and say, okay, cool, I'm going to patronize this one business. Granted, I'm paying a little bit extra. But once you patronize that business with so much dollars, they can afford to say, you know what, now I can buy better bulk and I can bring my prices down a little bit.
Right.
Anyway, shout out to everybody sending me stories. Go to my YouTube, My Life in the Shy, My Life in the CHI. Peace.
City on fire. Ooh, down to the wire. My life in the shy.